Sometimes you glide. Sometimes you glide. It is the radio man's time. Hey. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. Arise and shine, for the radio man has come. It is time to dig into the past. It is time to reflect on the moment. It is time to dance to the fortunes of the future. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. The program is State Affairs. The radio man has come. Radio. The radio man is here. Come join me. The radio man has come. Radio. It is Splash. The radio man is here. Look at this. Look at this. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Their whims, fancies, and ambitions are thwarted at every step, but their inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, be it foul or clean. The divinity that shapes our ends is in ourselves. It is in our very self. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. Circumstance does not make the man. It reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist as descending into vice and its attendant sufferings apart from vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue and its pure happiness without the continued cultivation of righteous aspirations. What occupies your mind? For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. Man is the master of his word. When a country is poor, the mindset of the people are poor. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. We are coming to America. Donald Trump cannot stop us. Who wants to go to America? But you will go to America on this condition. We are going to America to make America greater. Donald, you can't stop us. We are coming. That is not to say we will abandon our land. We are already on the journey to make the land great. That Americans will be coming to Nigeria. We'll give them visa. They will bring their money. They will teach in our universities. We will not lock Americans out. We will welcome them with their brilliance. Hey. It reminds me of this. It reminds me of that. There was a time Nigeria launched several missiles. Okay, let me not say missiles. We launched satellites. We launched a space program, a program managed by NASDA. When we launched that satellite, we talked about Nigeria Sat-2. Remember Nigeria Sat-2? What Nigeria Sat-2 was to do for us was to help us observe the Earth. We spent billions launching that satellite. Then there was NICOMSAT 1R. NICOMSAT 1R. NICOMSAT is a communication satellite. Obasanjo initiated this idea. When he announced it, I remember I was in my study. I was rejoicing. I said, here we come. Nigeria takes off now. I began to calculate what we would do with Nigeria Sat-2 and NICOMSAT 1R. You see, Nigeria Sat-1 was Nigeria's first satellite. It is part of the disaster monitoring constellation focused on environmental monitoring and disaster management. The satellite would have helped us to identify flooding before they come, desertification. We have a clear mapping of our country, managing it with science. It was sweet. I loved it. That's why sometimes I have sympathy for Obasanjo. Not all the time. It doesn't have to be all the time. NICOMSAT was Africa's first communication satellite designed for broadband. That is what you call thinking. When a leader thinks, Obasanjo was thinking. Huge. From the idea of Nigeria Sat-2 and NICOMSAT, I gave it to Obasanjo for great thinking. But one thing is that as you launch this, it becomes a platform for you to empower institutions to manage it. In that case, you go to the Department of Science, University of Ibadan. As you are launching it, you are training boys there because they will take it over and manage it. We don't do that. So as I speak, if you ask President Tinubu about Nigeria Sat-2 and NICOMSAT, he won't be saying anything. Because this project, they perished despite billions spent on them. So when Donald Trump sees this, he will say, hey, don't mind them, they are not serious. They are not serious. They are not serious country. The National Assembly cannot monitor it because it is bogged down by selfish ambition. When legislators go on oversight, they go to parastatals to collect money. They don't oversight the project. If they did, you see, the essence of the organs of government is checks and balances. But when it becomes about mercantilism, it becomes about what you get into your pocket. And when politics is reduced to what you get into your pocket, You devalue the land. You mentally debase the people. As you do that, you provoke them with hunger. As you provoke them with hunger, you provoke them with lack of food. As you do this, you produce bandits, you produce terrorists, you produce fraudsters. The fraudster becomes a burden on the state. I make the point that a corrupt leadership calculating the billions or trillions on weapons, recruiting more men into the army and the police, a corrupt leadership will not be able to tackle banditry. It's a natural law. Because to be corrupt is to inject negative energy into the state, and it will produce negative responses. Banditry. So the state becomes a platform of exploitation where the citizens become scorpions and they are taking on themselves. They begin to throw up negative vices, tribalism, to heat up the land. By this, the highway is heated, the schools are heated. It is only men that come to equity with clean hands that can build a country. It is time to fly. On the front page of the Saturday Punch. Sex scandal. Popular pastor steps down as PFN mulls sanctions. Christian leaders meet. Police demand petition. Leave our pastor alone. Members tell victims. You know, we make this mistake of saying because he or she is a pastor, he is righteous. You get it right. That because he's a reverend father, he's righteous. The church is losing its focus and compass. It is not because it is the church. The society has lost its moral fabric, so it will penetrate every sector of the economy, the mosque, because the mosque and the church are made up of members of society. The senator has a mosque he goes to. The pastor has a senator that comes for prayer. The pastor cannot tame the senator. Neither can the senator tame the poor. This is when we need wise men to arise. To be a pastor is not to be righteous. Get that clear. And to be an imam is not to be righteous. Righteousness is found in the beauties around you. Peace, love. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Righteousness exalts a nation. So when a nation is not exalted, it is an unrighteous nation. It will be bogged down by terrorism, banditry. It is not just about government, it is about you. What do you harbor in your mind? Lessen your burden and free yourself. New tax law exposed. Things you don't know about Nigeria Tax Act 2025. What individuals, small businesses, large companies must do. Stakeholders say tax will boost growth, protect small businesses. We will resist new tax if it will harm our businesses. Shippers speak. You find these headlines on the front page of the Saturday Sun. 1999 Constitution not serving Nigeria. Deadly crash. Anthony Joshua's driver arraigned in court. granted 5 million naira bail. Insecurity. Every governor should secure his state. That is what Kalu is saying. They can't secure their states because their minds are bogged down by ambition. Ambition working against common good. Such governors cannot check insecurity. They will spend billions, and the more they spend, the more insecure the land becomes. Righteousness exalts a nation. Are you a peacemaker? Are you merciful? Lagos confirms 8 dead. Area to remain short. Silent groans of men battered by violent wives. Are there violent wives? Why are they violent? What would make a woman violent? As to batter a man, that same question can be reversed. What can make a man violent? And then batter a woman. When that happens the first time, it's a red line. Don't accept it. Don't accept it. The time comes when you touch your wife, you go to prison. And the rule applies. When you touch your husband, you go to prison. The foundation of a developed society must start from the family. The family must be sanitized. Totally sanitized. A wife must learn to speak to the husband. Your wife is a treasure, the way your man is. You must watch your words because your children are listening. They see it and it affects their being. The failure of the Nigerian state is the failure of the family. The leaders, they come from families. We must build family. Family is the key to national development. There be love, peace, and the children will grow mentally strong. Have you seen the front page of the Saturday Tribune? Anthony Joshua swapped seats with late friend moments before crash. Malami wife, son to remain in prison till next week. Have you seen a prison wall? Who wants to go to prison? Malami is in prison. Huh? Malami in prison. Okay. But Malami sent people to prison and refused to release them, even when the court said, release him. Malami, that sent people to prison, has been sent to prison. Who is the next to go to prison? Is prison a bad thing? You know, sometimes you go to prison to relax and reflect. Did I hear you say, okay, we like reflecting, but not in prison? Don't worry, I understand that. Shola Reo is here. Shola is the studio manager. Shola, where are you going to sit down? Just cough it out. You can raise the feeder. Cough it out. Raise it now. Aha, you're good. Radio is real. Sometimes you cough. Huh? Because you want cough now, you want to run, go outside. You cough. It is real. You know, feel free. So when I cough, I hope you understand. 0706949300. Call the radio station. 0706949300 and 0701447570 07014475770. EFCC to Bala Mohammed. Stop making wide claims about persecution. Says only immunity preventing trial of governor on 2017 charges. Hello, good morning. Good
morning. I'm kidding.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Edmond. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, good morning. Come on, listen. I'm Gidi. I'm calling from Canada. Now, you talked about Light Comes Up and the president and what they're supposed to, what they ought to have done and what they did not do. Even if you ask the former ministers who handled those ministries, that ministry, the immediate past one, and even the Barrister Shitu, and Amabola Johnson, and what one I've forgotten, and I think it was one Johnson. If you ask them to explain what that satellite is all about, I don't think they can give you, and they can explain to details what that project was. So I don't know. Maybe if you can bring one of them to the table and let them explain what that really means, because we don't really know. Terrorists are ravaging the north, they are ravaging Nigeria, and we said we have 2 satellites up there in the sky. They cannot do what they were proposed to do. You know, that kind of issue. So we want to hear from them. What is a clear sector? And if we don't have, then why do we decide to deceive Nigerians? So thank you, Mr. Edmond.
Thank you. EFCC to Bala Mohammed. Stop making wide claims about persecution. Says only immunity preventing trial of governor on 2017 charges. Rivers, no second chance for Fubara. Fubara looks uninspiring. I don't have sympathy for him. We can bully him well. Very, very uninspiring. No inspiration. When men look uninspiring govern the land, there's always chaos. Very lukewarm. That's how I feel. Yeah. And Wike, I reserve my word for him at the moment. You know, when you allow people to use words every day to rattle the conscience of the nation, it should be curbed. There's so much noise in the system. It should be curbed. And we must throw up leadership on the basis of inspiration, not on the basis of mercantilism. Nigeria is a state of wise men, but it's also a failure of the wise. Because you cannot say there is a treasure trove of wise men, and yet the country is governed by men who continue to run aground the conscience of the nation. I can imagine what is going on in Rivers. There's no governance. Alleged 8.7 billion naira fraud. Court rules January 7th on Malami orders. You see, I'm not a judge. But once in a while, they bring out 1 or 2 persons and make them scapegoat. Whatever Malami has done, it is what they are all doing. It's not, everybody's dipping hands into the purse. Because even the way the system is wired, you cannot afford not to even dip hand into the purse. It is badly wired. It's badly wired. If you go to places like Maitama in Abuja, there are permanent secretaries living there. They are paying rent on a good day. Their 5-year salary cannot keep them in Maitama. They can't afford it from their salary. No way. But they live there and they have good cars. Are you asking how? Okay, you pay that permanent secretary about 700,000. You are joking. How do you pay permanent secretary 700,000? At this rate of inflation, you pay a professor 700, and you think that university system will be serious? You pay a professor 700. I taught for 2 years as a lecturer. I wanted to experience it. I lost all my times. I resigned because I saw what it takes for you to even assess a student and assess a student well. I saw what it takes to teach. At the point I was even running, and I said, okay, this is why professors, their offices, you have sometimes books scattered everywhere. I just knew if I continued, I wouldn't be able to do radio. It was tasking. But I was learning. And you pay a professor 700K. You know, that country is deliberately destroying the education system. So what do you have? You have our lecturers, they are all seeking for funds abroad. You see, everybody is writing for grants. And you hear that somebody has stolen 8.7 billion. Do you know if we use that? So Nigerian lecturers have become beggars in the international system. And when you seek the grant, you know, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Anyway, we will change all that. We will endow our universities. We are not going to play capitalism with universities. In fact, if we need to take them over, we take them over. Fully. At this level of our development, government must be fully involved in education. Fully. It is a task that must be done. It's not about saying private sector. At this level of our development, government must be fully involved in education, including private universities. We will fund them. I'm not going to say it's private, because it's our children that are there. We will fund them. Then when we get to a level where they have taken off, when we have scientifically taken, they will be at this level. You see, there is so much money that we are wasting. We are not broke as we speak. You know, I heard that Seyi Makinde collected 30 billion from Tinubu over the bomb blast issue. At some point, it was Fayose that said it was 50 billion. That's what Seyi collected. But Seyi has explained that he collected 30 billion, but he was promised 50 billion. But they gave him 30 billion. So why did he not collect the 20 balance? He said guys in the presidency were now demanding for court. You know, that's what they do. It's a tradition. Even when you give a contractor a job, these guys get caught. It's a that is why, you know, in Nzogu's 1966 speech, Nzogu was angry that politicians were collecting 10% from contract funds. That was one of the reasons they struck. Now it has gone beyond 10. It may even be the whole project now. They collect everything. They will just go pour sand on the road and go home. And nothing happens. However, Seyi collected 30 billion from Tinubu. And Seyi said he has not spent the 30 billion. That the 30 billion is somewhere. I am angry with Seyi. How will Seyi collect 30 billion from Tinubu? At this level of our development, one, he has the responsibility to give account of that money. Mr. Governor, you give us concrete account of how that money, and if you are keeping the money, why are you keeping it? We need to know. And I know some victims of that bomb blast have not received their compensation. Many of them have been calling me. Perhaps, Mr. Governor, you need to go back and revisit what is going on. And look at it. Are there people in the ministry who also want to share from the pains of the victim? You need to do that. So having said that, transparency and accountability is key. So, Mr. Governor, that money you collected from Tinubu is too small. It's too small. That is why I'm angry. How can you go and collect 30 billion from president? Do you know how much Tinubu controls? So, Mr. Governor, you will go back. Seyi Makinde, you will go back. First, Tinubu will give you the balance. We want the balance. They cannot keep that 20 billion. So, Femi Gbajabiamila and co., you are owing on your state 20 billion. So, Mr. Governor, you will go back and collect the 20 billion. And when you collect it, let us know. Then, Oyo State is too big for 50 billion from what happened that day. That blast shook the foundation of Ibadan. No, 50 billion is too small. So Seyi Makinde, go back to Tinubu, tell him, give me money. Tinubu is controlling a lot of money. He cannot keep that money alone. Oyo State needs more than... Mr. Governor, you have to go back to Tinubu and collect big, big money for your state. And that area, I've gone to that area. I'm not too... You see, that bomb blast should be a blessing for that Adi and environment. It has happened. Now, we need to sink funds into that area. We must build monument. In fact, by the fact that it happened, that area should be a center of development. Massive infrastructure projects should be launched in that zone to compensate for that disaster. So, Mr. Governor, you should not be keeping that 30 billion. Let's spend it. Let's spend it. Because I've gone to that area, you still see, no. That area should wear a renewal. It should be like a model for a city that will come. We need to move in there. That's why you need to go get more money. Having said that, if you also see Tinubu as a citizen, say, Tinubu, give me money. Okay? If you ask anywhere you see Tinubu be saying, give me money. Tinubu has too much money. See, don't wait. Citizens, you are lacking. Collect your shares. These guys are sharing this money. And there you are complaining of poverty. You know, if you see Tinubu say, give me money, you deserve your share. And to deserve your share is to demand for transparency and accountability. If you demand for it, resources will be well spent. It will go round and it will get to you. I loathe a system that pays a primary school teacher 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. It won't work. We must build a new cadre of teachers that will be among the best. In our time, if you graduate as a first-class student, we will beg you. You are not even going into the university. We are moving you into the secondary system. We need to build young leaders. Our best will teach, and you will love teaching. You will love your classroom and your office. You will be well paid. Education is key. Tinubu, give me money. Donald Trump, we are coming to America. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Stay tuned.
State Affairs with Edmond Nobilo is live.
called Biafrans.
Call Biafrans.
They were ready to die for Biafra.
Exactly.
Because if you read here that declaration, even while reading it, I was just charging up. But at some point, I said, calm down.
Yeah.
You are a researcher.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't find yourself in this immoral spirit. He says in this article that Biafran revolution terrifies the reactionary countries who are backed by the imperialist countries of the West that mold the foreign and international policies of these reactionary governments. Is that where we are at the moment? Remember, Donald Trump has come. Why are some rejoicing about the coming of Donald Trump? Will it be in the favor of Igbo people?
Well, like I've said, the whole thing is shrouded in mysteries, and we cannot say we have a monocausal reason or have a monocausal answer. It is a multidimensional and multifaceted. Because this same United States of America didn't support the so-called Biafra Christian during the Civil War. The support they got from the US was just on a charity basis from the churches and individuals. But from the United States government, they didn't have the backing. United States backed briefing. And these things are based on their ideology, based on their national interests. Now, back to Nigeria. Why the sudden, support for the Christians? It's not just about Christians. There are a lot of reasons for me. Even the economic reason, ideological reason, and military reason, security reason, because Nigeria is becoming, as I'm concerned, home for terrorists. And all of these things. So it's not just about the Christian whatever.
So America is fighting for its own interests.
Own interests. Because also America is also watching the international dynamics. Chinese are taking over Africa, West Africa. France, as a matter of fact, France is losing some states in West Africa, also gaining some states in West Africa.
He has gained Nigeria.
He has gained Nigeria. And that is really paradoxically and ironically because we are not colonized by France. But today they use Nigeria, they quell the coup that are in Benin, courtesy of Tinubu. And the man in Burkina Faso said that the plane they capture has a lot of mechanism or a lot of gadgets placed in that airplane to carry out a surveillance of their nation and all of those stuff, their security apparatus and some other things. So it's really deep. So some are really happy and some are not happy. Some Northerners are not happy. And so these are the issue of ethnicity and
some
religion.
Igbos are happy. They are telling Trump, go ahead.
And they are, most Igbo, let me put it this way, are happy. And because they feel that maybe this Nigeria has been unfair to them. For example, look at their son, kept in Sokoto prison. Whereas look at
that man again.
So he's the one that is in charge.
Yes, he's the one. He's the one.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Who is Ademola Adeleke? You know it yourself.
So he's Deji that is the governor
He's
in
the
the true
governor.
sense of the word.
He's the governor.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Even when his brother was in government, I served under his brother. I knew
Adeleke.
Yes, I knew the influence he wielded on his senior brother.
And he still wields that influence.
There is a businessman and a capitalist to the core. Very vicious in his approach to issues. He has to protect his interest. But today's interest versus the people of Osun State. We are going to the poll.
The US is that powerful that nobody dares.
The US is powerful, and you could see that even Europe is being careful about how. Look at what Trump is trying to do between Russia and Ukraine, trying to get Ukraine to concede some territory to Russia. That's not Euro's preference, but they are being careful. America is indeed, like one head of state told me, America is powerful in a way, and it can really make life difficult.
In what ways?
For in several ways. In several ways, they can. American can somehow get you isolated, because a lot of small countries rely on handouts from America. You know, they may make it impossible for you, even at the United Nations, to achieve anything. You may not achieve anything. So you want to get grant from somewhere, you want to get loan from the World Bank. Some of these things America can pull the lever on you.
They can strangulate you.
They can strangulate you. You may be unable to buy arms to protect yourself as a country.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You are saying supported the military, a section of the military, because the military also rose to defend Patrice Talon.
Well, you will notice that in the article that you cited, I spoke of something like National Coalition of Compatible, what did I call them? Rogues. Benin Republic under Patrice Talon had become a rogue state. Why is it that all the major political opposition leaders are in jail? Why?
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Who is in? So after that, the center could no longer hold.
It held until the death of Adunayo Olagbaju.
Who killed Olagbaju?
Well, it was a mob led by one, I've forgotten the name of that boy, because that boy was convicted and sentenced to death. It was a mob who was sympathetic to Chivise Akade.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Who is in charge of Osun State government? Is it Ademola Adeleke or DG Adeleke?
You make me laugh. You see, if you have to censor opinion of credible people, not people who have been overwhelmed with hatred. I watched one of your guests here sometime recently ago who was embarrassing himself, trying to attack the family of the governor. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell you that his first ever paid appointment in life was given by the same Adeleke family. He was referring to Dr. Deji Adeleke. Is Deji Adeleke in politics with him? Such a disdain.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Adeleke, pack your load and go.
He's going. Is it Adeleke? Is Deji Adeleke is going. It's not Adeleke. Who is Adeleke? Can that one become a governor? It's Deji now.
So it's DG.
Yeah, Deji is going.
Davido's daddy.
He knows I'm saying this to you.
So
and when he
daddy that
hears
is in
that man again.
So he's the one that is in charge.
Yes, he's the one.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Who is Ademola Adeleke? You know it yourself.
So it's DG that is the governor
He's
in
the
the true
governor.
sense of the word.
He's the governor.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Even when his brother was in government, I served under his brother.
Senior Adeleke.
Yes, I knew the influence he wielded on his senior brother.
And he still wields that influence.
There is a businessman and a capitalist to the core. Very vicious in his approach to issues. He has to protect his interest. But today's interest versus the people of Osun State. We are going to the poll.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
I'll be sad if Deji is not interested in what is going on in Osun State.
Dr. Deji is too busy. Don't be sad.
I
I want to see you happy.
I'll be sad.
I want to see you
That
happy.
with his expertise.
People like Jallo is not credible to malign the name of Dr. Deji Adeleke. It's just too minute to, cast aspersion on the image of Dr. Deji Adeleke.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Who wants to go to America? Donald Trump cannot come and drop bomb in Nigeria and yet say he's restricting us from coming to America. No, Donald, we are coming to America. But if we go to America, we will make America greater. That is not to say we are abandoning our land. Donald, we like America. We are coming to America. You know, Nigerians, we like moving. Huh? So we are coming, okay? We are coming. If you say Tinubu, say, give me money. There's plenty money, a lot of money. And you are broke? You can't pay your children's school fees? There is money. If you say Tinubu, say, give me money. It is your share. It's not doing you a favor. No, it's not doing you a favor. You can't be broke when a country is so rich. It's not acceptable. Say, give me money. The lines are open. Call the radio station. 070694 930 00. 070694 930 00. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Hello.
Good morning.
Sadoi Modagbe.
Is this the morning? Is it not of you or all of us? How do you get it from the president? Meanwhile, let me talk about security. And they myself, give us the safety we are looking for. I want to put up our own question. Where is the work of? When I put on govern ourselves, let us look at a game strongly. Let them say that penalty. That is what my God said. Allah. So we stop paying Islam. Let's give them what they want. Thank you very much.
Sadoi Modagbe has spoken. Who wants to speak to the radio man? Call the radio station. 070694 93000.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Michael.
Yes, Mr.
When
Michael.
you say we are not 100%. So the last time I still quite late because I remember that was conducted lawyer. We were asking our president to move around with the law. He was telling the person that even that he was telling the judge that man is jealous of him. So I don't doubt that we have money. We are seriously rich. That's how we say Africa is poor. So Nigeria is among the best countries in Africa.
All right. I'm not enjoying the calls. They are not clear. Hello, good morning. Hello. You see, Nigeria is so rich. We are not broke. Oh. Don't think we are. There's a lot of money. Just that they are not allowing it to flow. So when you see them, say, give me money. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Radio.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, Radio Man.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Femi. I'm calling from Oluyole.
Good to hear your voice.
Radio Man.
Hmm?
You know, when this government assumed office, some of us informed the public that they run a richer sovereign, a poorer populace economic philosophy. That is what they do. That is what they are known for. Their priority is always to increase the size of the public ports at the expense of the citizens. It basically means the citizens would bankroll their excesses. That is the story of Lagos. You don't see that in Dubai. You don't see that in Switzerland. You don't see that in Scandinavia. And you don't even see that in Morocco. I think a lot of people have been watching AFCON and you've seen palpable prosperity. So the reality is it lies with Nigerians. Whether we want our lives to improve or we want to continue in this Bambiala philosophy, this pittance, this politics of arms giving, of giveaways, it's up to us. The good news is that there is an option. We now have ADC. It's up to Nigerians. Thank you very much, Radio Man.
Thank you. Thank you. Did he say DC? Okay. 070-694 93000 and 070-144-75770. Good morning.
Good morning. If when this okay,
No, I'm not gonna take this call. The lines are poor. See, that last call was clear. Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Okay, I can hear you.
I wish you best of luck with your program. I'm really enjoying it. My Almighty God has continued that perspective. You see, concerning the issue of the governor, I don't know. Like, I believe they are there as an angel of happiness towards mankind. I don't know what is happening in mind. But you presenting him that he needs to come out with the money now. It's not to take the next 10 hours with him again. But the fact of that woman feeling that spirit of care from a leader that is to be emulatively balanced and no excuse for what it would be from a leader. But all it takes on now, this is one situation, nobody coming back. What I'm experiencing governmentally, democratically, is not the best of what we need to know in our minds. Are you there with me?
I'm with you.
The first of love, we shall be holding what we have in our destiny to be peacefully accepted. And I want to go back to memory lane. For something happened some time ago. Concerning our leader in Africa today, Professor Wole Soyinka, he was the night going to America. I don't know what really happened. I thought I would be able to hear from another person who represented for that. All I'm in mind to understand what really happened, what went wrong.
All right, thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. The lines are open. Let's hear from you. Alleged 8.7 billion naira fraud. Court rules January 7 on Malami. Orders bail request. Constitution review. National Assembly proposes 4-year tenure for local government chair. On the front page of The Guardian, United States airstrike against insurgents. I hope Donald Trump's intervention will stop internal colonialism. And that is Bolaji Akinyemi. I want to know what he means by internal colonialism. Is he referring to Nigerian leaders who are now colonizing their people? You know, Nigerian leaders, even the colonial masters, were even kinder. The colonial rulers were even kinder. They built railways. Our own leaders came and destroyed them. They just wanted you to trek. Colonialists built railways. You would hear stories that in the 1950s, I took train from Osogbo to Kanu. And I had to wait until Buhari's time for me to enter a train in Nigeria. They destroyed it. Go and study the history of UCH and see what that hospital was in the 1960s, you'll be shocked. They destroyed it. Go and look at Murtala Mohammed Airport. Even though Buhari constructed one new side, but whenever I'm in that airport, I'll be just saying, Nigeria is too big for this airport. You know, the last time before I traveled there, I said, no, I must walk around this airport. So I got to the airport very early. So I began to walk every corner that I could enter. And Tinubu is controlling billions. Did I say billions? If you see the money in the hands of these guys, you should be asking for money. You know, Buhari got frustrated at some point. From information I'm getting from Grapevine, Buhari knew the Naira he printed, the volume of Naira printed. So they will do reconciliation with the CBN. CBN will say money in circulation. This is more we printed, but money in circulation is very low. You know, politicians were keeping all this money at home. They were storing them at home. So the money wasn't even entering the banking sector. So that means it is somewhere. But Buhari now, in the military way, just woke up our money and said, okay, let's destroy that money in their hand. Let them keep it in there. I just came out with new currency. And then strangulated everybody. But he should have known that they were keeping the money at home. Not today. So Buhari was just waking up to know. Buhari should not have happened to Nigeria. Not because it's we are being bogged down by leadership. It's getting out of hand. You know, sometimes when I'm seeing Akpabio talking as the Senate, you know, at that, that is an elevated platform. You are privileged to sit on that platform. It is a national privilege. So you must sit on that platform with the highest responsibility. In what you say, the way you speak, the kind of joke you crack. Because it is an elevated platform, a status of the state. I don't think Akpabio has handled that office well. As a governor, it's an opportunity. So the best you can do with that office is to elevate your people. And you can do that and become richer. 8.7 billion, what do you want to buy? I've done calculation of what 1 billion can buy, and I'm saying anybody that stole 1 billion is mad. And that is why you see they are mad. Because when you've accumulated such wealth, your mind will be so occupied. How do you keep it? How do you use it? You become so selfish and individualistic that you lose your mind. That is why you see after they have left office, they begin to say, how come I did not do this? How come? Because they begin to regain their consciousness. Okay. Bosun is here. Bosun is here. Yes, Bosun. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hello. We can't get network right. Network. Bosun, cut it off. We are struggling. We can't get network right. Hello? I'm not taking that call. We can't get electricity right. Every day, National Grid will just collapse. You know, it's a peculiar mess. National Grid will just collapse. You just shut down the nation. That is the greatest threat to national security. You just black out a nation. It's happening repeatedly. And nobody has gone to prison. You know what that means? You shut down a country. It is the highest threat to national security. That means you just made the economy black. And it will be happening again and again. What? Good morning.
Oh, Edmond. Hello, Edmond.
Hello, good morning.
Hello? Edmond.
I can hear you.
Alhaji Chief Sulaiman Oladepo Bolarinwa. Ọlọ́run ṣẹ̀dí Alamori Jajogun. There are many Bolarinwas in Ibadan now. That is why I always add my own so that I can distinguish myself from all these Bolarinwas. No, Edmond, you said you saw one peculiar name. You know who is peculiar name? Do you know the meaning of peculiar name? Edmond, I'm challenging you. What is a peculiar name? Edmond.
Baba, I'm listening.
Answer me now. It's the best one. Do you know who they call peculiar name?
Tell us now.
You don't know. You may not know. Let me tell you. Alhaji Adekoke Adelabu, the grandfather of this Abdulwahab Adelabu, that is steering APC today in Oyo State. Just keep that for your pocket. No, Edmond, let me advise you. Let Buhari rest in peace. Talk to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, talk to Akpabio, and talk to the opposition politicians that are navigating Nigerian political radar. Talk to them. Talk to this who resigned from the former opponent of Tinubu. Talk to him. Talk to who are calling themselves APC today. Talk to Peter Obi. I sometimes mention that Peter Obi came to ADC is meaningless. He is the considered element and he will be considered out of APC. They have started it now. Don't you see that the APC is already going into business? They have not arrived, they are there. Edmond, God bless you. Continue.
Chief Bolarinwa, thank you for calling the radio station. Thank you. But let's take more calls. Over 150 bandits attack Kanu community.
Good morning, Black John.
Hello?
Missionary speaker, missionary motivator. My name is Ezekiel Lafayette. It's a radio man. My name is Ezekiel Lafayette. My name. You see, you are telling us inability to implement what we call good governance as well as a dividend of democracy. You see, infrastructure has gone fundamental to we country citizens. As a matter of fact, uninterrupted power supply, good road network, health, agriculture, education. These are the things that make us to know we have what we call good governance. But it has gone far from our mentality. We don't even know what it has gone far. The country citizen itself is lagging because what we after, how am I going to survive on a daily basis? If I can see something to put inside my stomach, I'm okay. I'm forgetting Google network, I'm forgetting security, I'm forgetting education, I'm forgetting health, I'm forgetting uninterrupted power supply. And we are not holding them responsible. We are not asking them questions. Instead of asking them questions, we are exonerating them. We laud them. Whenever we see them, we begin to shout. We begin to exonerate as if they are creators. That is why we are falling. I can't make my analysis. Good morning, sir. Good morning, man.
Thank you. Terror war. Muslim leaders warn Israeli PM Netanyahu to steer clear of Nigeria. Is Netanyahu coming? He comes with bombs. Netanyahu don't come. These guys, the way they drop bombs, they will just take you on. Sometimes just sit down and say, you just wake up and begin to bomb another country, and the other country is powerless. There's nothing you can do. They will just bully you. Donald Trump is bullying us now. He has dropped one bomb. He will soon bring his conditions. Watch. Watch. He will bring his conditions soon. Once they drop a bomb, something happens. See, there's a book here. I brought this book so that you will see. It's called White Malice, the CIA and the Neo-Colonization of Africa. If you can get this book, read it. I don't want to talk much. The CIA, you see CIA actions in Africa. You read it. Read it. But Donald Trump cannot drop bomb in Nigeria and tell us we cannot come to America. We won't accept that. Mr. Trump, we are coming to America. White Malice, the CIA and the Neo-Colonization of Africa. That's the book you should be reading. Okay? Now, another book you should be reading as a student of this class, The CIA and Imperial History by Hugh Wilford. Let's read. Let's read. The CIA and Imperial History. World history. We are studying world history. We are getting ready. Don't worry. We are coming. We are coming. We are getting ready. Can't just come and bomb us like that. We don't like it. We are coming. We partner America. Partner China. You have good roads. It's your right. It's not a favor. Expand this Lagos Ibadan. Open up the road. You be on the express, you'll be cruising. You know, there are times. On Sundays, one of the ways I used to enjoy myself a lot, I'll just drive alone. I like music. I'll just be jamming. I'll be on this Lagos Express. I'll just be driving. I'll be cruising. I'll put my car on cruise. But recently, I said, let me cruise again on the highway. Somebody said, my guy, go in, relax. And I felt bad. I just wanted to drive and play music. You know? And that's, you know, driving can give you fun. Some of us now, you want to go to America, but many of us have not been to Kano. Many of us are around in Ibadan, we don't even know what Kaduna looks like. On a good day, the roads are good. You just put your family in the car. And you are driving from here to Bauchi to Yankari. You know, you'll be stopping at different points. You become a tourist. There are hotels on the highway. You have fun. Life is sweet. Life is sweet. You work too much. You know, you should have money. You can take your children, you go to Dubai. It's not for, you don't need to be a politician to be able to achieve that. That's the point. As a teacher, you can save and you say, let's go to Dubai. Let's you go and see Abu Dhabi. It's too, and you take your flight comfortably. As a teacher, you go on holiday. You know, you spend time with your family. Some of you are here speaking Yoruba. You don't even know what Owerri is like. That's why you cannot unify the country. We are all bogged down. To go to Abuja, you are praying. The road is bad. Tinubu is doing 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. 4 years is almost common. It don't show. I'm looking at the highways in the southwest. To go to Ife, they will write me, I should come and speak to students in Ife. I don't want to go. Because I know the punishments that road will met to my car. Now come back, start running from one mechanic to the other. Before you know, Nigerians and mechanics are quarreling and fighting. As a mechanic, the dilemma of a mechanic. You know, Nigerians are fighting their mechanic. Everybody's angry. That mechanic, you fix this car yesterday. Then it's bad now tomorrow. How? He said, no work. Then construct the car. The mechanics are trying. Sometimes I get angry. But I've seen now, I said, man, these guys, car they just come from abroad. The mechanic said, he go still try and make, they are trying. We are going to pour money into that sector. You You know, they will fix the car. Sometimes you just be on the highway. It has happened to me. And you fix a car today after spending some million. You on the highway, just break down. I say, no. Where did the mechanic get the training from? So sometimes it's trial and error. I had given a car now to an AC man. He removed the thermostat. Now the thermostat, they caused the problem for the AC. And it's like a theory. Did we train them? What happened to our technical colleges? Normally, our mechanics should go to technical colleges. We will take off technologically. Where are the technical colleges? Tomorrow now, they will convert a polytechnic to university, Ibadan Poly. They are converted to university with no capacity. No capacity. And they will convert it. Then you start clapping. He has brought university to Okyogun. University. Go and see university to Okyogun. You know, there's one time as a university student, I protested. I didn't go to class for 1 month. For 1 week. Because I was frustrated. Before I would get to the classroom is filled up. And we will stand by the window. University student. I didn't stand to receive lectures as a secondary school student. I began to stand in 100 level. As a university student. And the lecturer expects us to write. He will be dictating university education. Be dictating. We are all writing like those zombies. I say you make first class. We are not serious. Not serious. Bosun, is there any caller there? Let's pick the call. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Edmund.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Happy New Year.
I don't know what to say if the New Year is happy.
We have to take it the way we have said it.
No, I don't take things the way I see it. I change it.
We'll be hoping that this year will be good.
I don't do that. I don't do that. You see, do you hear me say Happy New Year when I come? It doesn't change anything. I don't do that hope. We must wake up. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. Please make your comment. Make your comment.
Well, I want to comment on you. I heard you say that there's so much money in the system. You know, and Tinubu has a lot of money. I agree with you totally. And why would he not have so much money as we speak? The subsidy has gone. It has the whole of the subsidy money within. You know? But what is, for me, tragic in the system is that my in-law, some 2 weeks ago, called to tell me that in UK, where she is, primary school, basic classes, and the secondary, they are free. If they are free, it's a kind of subsidy. It's a kind of subsidy. My friend came back November last year from China, and he told me that you could board a bus that will pick you from, like Boruaji area down to Lagos, and it will not cost more than 300 naira in Nigerian naira. Those are subsidies. Nigeria is making oil. Why would we not enjoy that subsidy on oil? Why should we not? If there are people that are making it difficult, apprehend them. Let me rest my case, please. It's getting me pissed off. Sorry.
You don't need to say sorry. You see, the way you are lamenting, I'm also lamenting here. So, am I saying sorry? No, don't say sorry. Okay? Sheyi must go back to Tinubu and collect more money.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Martin, he doesn't deserve to collect the balance because that's not accounted. Hello?
I'm with you.
He has not accounted for the first one he collected. So I think if you ask many of your state busy and all of us, we don't need to account for the first one he collected before he can deserve the second stretch. Thank you very much.
He said he hasn't spent it. And I'm wondering, as this hardship is keeping 30 billion, for what now? Why is he keeping it? Why should he keeping 30 billion? We need to spend that money. Revive the whole of that Adi Bodija. So, Mr. Governor, tell us how you want to spend that money. That money need to roll out. Need to roll out so that we'll get our share. Mr. Governor, I have my share in that 30 billion. Can't keep it. Can't keep it. All the people in Bodija, they have their share. How are you keeping it? Let's spend it. So that people will get money and use money. Some people want to relocate from that area. We need to fortify that area. I went there. You see those channels around there. We need to clean it up. That should be an example of how a disaster zone becomes a redemption zone. If we spend, why is he keeping the money? We need to spend on that zone. Open up that road. Light up that area. It becomes a sign of light for Ibadan. A monument of development. You can create a park around there. Buy up some of those houses. Bring them. We create a monumental park around that axis. That will attract... spending. What are we doing with the money? And 30 billion is not enough. President Tinubu, you are owing Oyo State 20 billion. Please release the money to Governor Seyi Makinde. At least let's have our 50 billion intact. Then, Mr. Governor, you will go back. 50 billion is not enough for the project I'm thinking of. You go back to Tinubu and collect more money. Because you have 2 years to go. You collect more money. And every day you let us know how you are spending the money. So, Mr. President, Oyo State need more money. Give us money. Let's take this call. Then we'll go for our break.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Edmond. You are spitting fire this morning, and the level of the state deserves such a response from the citizens. And as much as people describe me as a Sheyi's man, but I don't gel with all these things coming out. I don't like it. If you have collected 30 billion from the federal government, and you kept this thing for almost a year. I don't know the actual date you collected it, and you were silent. The federal government that released it to you is equally silent. Are you playing politics with us? It's so unfortunate. The governor was saying he spent 4 billion maybe for the residents for repair of all those things. But when these people are actually having 30 billion, what excuse are we giving that? If you have come out with this one that this is what happened, people will not be shocked. Fayose will not be glowing on television. Who is Fayose? Fayose who established what is it called, the poultry that he continued to buy eggs around the whole area to put in his poultry, and he's now making now over you is a performer. So he disappointed me. Thank you, Edmond.
Thank you. But mind you, we don't have to give all the people all the money. This money, it can also be used for that developmental project around other axes. But we just want to know how that money will be spent. Because sometimes when you also give people too much money, it can also derail intentions. But everybody that suffered deserves to be paid. And I learned some people have not been paid. Mr. Governor, you need to go look back into what is going on. Because I've refused to bring their voices on air. Check the ministries. Who are those responsible for paying out the money to the victims? Nobody should demand a dime from victims of that crisis. Nobody should demand a dime. Mr. Governor, if any civil servant demands a dime, please bring that civil servant to book. We must begin to make examples of certain persons. Every victim that was captured should be paid with immediate effect. No more delays. Some have been paid. Every person should be paid by now. Hello, good morning. 070-144-75770. I'm giving you the lines today. Hello, good morning. Yeah.
I had the call. And I love what you said now concerning the packaging. And I know you are so passionate about the development of the school. But the moment we begin to look at the center, the first thing that we need to develop. For instance, we see a packaging. We said just now that some people that were affected, some of them are still suffering up to. And we spend about 1.something billion. The remaining one, what happened to the remaining one? And some people, the victims are still suffering. Even around the place, they still remain what it was when the incident happened. The money what happened that they did not use it to develop that thing. So this is what they are seeing. That there's no transparency. As if these people did not come out, you will not be able to know. If anything wants to be developed, it will be developed through the local government, state government. The federal government is for the whole state, for the whole country. The developed countries like the UK and America, their states were developed by the local, by the state and the local government. So, if we want the country to be developed, let the state we ask some questions. Let the state develop their state. You will decide if you go for more money from the federal. Yes, it's true. Let more money come and let them use the money to develop their state, not waiting for the center. That is the way the country can be developed. For instance, that for that 30 billion, whether 30 billion or 50 billion, if 30 billion is poured to that state, near that effect of course, that thing will have changed, but it still remains the same. That's what just I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay tuned. Stay cool.
State Affairs with Edmond Bilo is live.
Seven, North Central Seas, Southwest Seas, and they have been having 5 states. These are the issues deliberately designed to keep them, to break them down. I told you that this thing started even from the British. The people of Anioma, the Ekumeku, fought them for like up to 30 years, for British to stand still.
About women fought them.
Yeah, about women fought them in 29. Indirect rule didn't work in Southeast at all. It worked perfectly in the north, partially in the west. So all of this whole thing, and so after the Second World War, 1945, the mining of coal because British started mining coal in Enugu, and they were taking it to their own country and all of those stuff.
Call Biafrans.
Call Biafrans.
They were ready to die for Biafra.
Exactly.
Because if you read here that declaration, even while reading it, I was just charging up. But at some point, I said, calm down.
Yeah.
You are a researcher.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't find yourself in this immoral spirit. He says in this article that Biafran revolution terrifies the reactionary countries who are backed by the imperialist countries of the West that mold the foreign and international policies of these reactionary governments. Is that where we are at the moment? Remember, Donald Trump has come. Why are some rejoicing? about the coming of Donald Trump, will it be in the favor of Igbo people?
Well, like I've said, the whole thing is shrouded in mysteries, and we cannot say we have a monocausal reason or have a monocausal answer. It is a multidimensional and multifaceted. Because this same United States of America didn't support the so-called Biafra Christian during the Civil War. The support they got from the U.S. was just on a charity basis from the churches and individuals. But from the United States government, they didn't have the backing. United States backed briefing. And these things are based on their ideology, based on their national interests. Now, back to Nigeria. Why the sudden, support for the Christians? It's not just about Christians. There are a lot of reasons for me. Even the economic reason, ideological reason, and military reason, security reason, because Nigeria is becoming, as I'm concerned, home for terrorists. And all of these things. So it's not just about the Christian whatever.
So America is fighting for its own interests.
Own interests. Because also America is also watching the international dynamics. Chinese are taking over Africa, West Africa. France, as a matter of fact, France is losing some states in West Africa, also gaining some states in West Africa.
He has gained Nigeria.
He has gained Nigeria. And that is really paradoxically and ironically, because we are not colonized by France. But today they use Nigeria, they quell the coup that are in Benin, courtesy of Tinubu. And the man in Burkina Faso said that the plane they capture has a lot of mechanism or a lot of gadgets placed in that airplane to carry out a surveillance of their nation and all of those stuff, their security apparatus and some other things. So it's really deep. So some are really happy and some are not happy. Some Northerners are not happy. And so these are the issue of ethnicity and
some Igbos are happy. They are telling Trump, go ahead.
And they are, most Igbo, let me put it this way, are happy. And it's because they feel that maybe this Nigeria has been unfair to them. For example, look at their song, Kept in Sokoto Prison. Whereas look at Gumi saying all sort of things, snapping picture with terrorists and all of those stuffs. A lot of imams saying all kinds of provocative manners, declaring, even saying that they would declare, or even if they've declared Arewa and all of those stuffs. They are unhurt. But terrorists are being integrated into Nigeria's security architecture. Terrorists are brandishing weapons and have collaboration with the government. Before they carry out the attack, our military will be withdrawn. So these are the things the Igbo people are looking. Igbo people have suffered so much. I don't know. During the Civil War, the way it was prosecuted, during the 1966 pogrom, the way it was done all over Nigeria, even expatriates were like, wow, what kind of thing is this? Are these people are they not part of the union and all of those stuffs? The way people were killed, brutally killed and all of those stuffs, and then go into the Civil War, the way it was carried out. Over 3 million people from the defunct Biafra were killed, children were killed and all of those stuffs, agents were killed, the blockade and all of those stuffs. After the Civil War too, even the issue of properties were seized, and even the issue of the 20 pounds, all of those stuffs, the assets were seized, the indigenization policy they couldn't buy. And since then, the woman has not become president. So these are the things that are making them feel angry. And not just that. When it comes to national assets or resources, one Nigeria. But if there's any misunderstanding on verbal exchange, go back to your region. All of those stuffs. So you see all of this whole thing. The election during the past election.
Complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before.
Join the radio man, Edmondo Bilo, on state affairs for local and international politics. security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Adeleke, pack your load and go.
He's going. He's going. Is it Adeleke? Is Deji? Deji Adeleke is going. It's not Adeleke. Who is Adeleke? Can that one become a governor? It's Deji now.
So it's Deji.
Yeah, Deji is going.
Davido's daddy.
He knows. He know I'm saying this to you.
So it's
when
Davido's daddy that is in charge.
That man again.
So he's the one that is in charge.
Yes, he's the one. He's the one.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Who is Ademola Adeleke? You know it yourself.
So it's Deji that is the governor.
He's
in
the
the true sense of the word.
He's the governor.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Even when his brother was in government, I served under his brother. I knew
Adeleke.
Yes, I knew the influence he wielded on his senior brother.
And he still wields that influence.
You know, there is a businessman and a capitalist to the core. Very precious in his approach to issues. He has to protect his interest. But today's interest versus the people of Osun State. We are going to the poll.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
You are saying supported the military, a section of the military, because the military also rose to defend Patrice Talon.
Well, you will notice that in the article that you cited, I spoke of something like National Coalition of Compatible, what did I call them? Rogues. Benin Republic under Patrice Talon had become a rogue state. Why is it that all the major political opposition leaders are in jail? Why?
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
So after that, the center could no longer hold.
It held until the death of Adunayo Olagbaju.
Who killed Olagbaju?
Well, it was a mob led by one, I've forgotten the name of that boy because that boy was convicted and sentenced to death. It was a mob who was sympathetic to Chivise Akade.
I'll be sad if Deji is not interested in what is going on in Osun State.
Dr. Deji is too busy. Don't be sad. I want to see you happy.
I'll be sad.
I want to see you happy.
With his expertise.
People like Jallo is not credible to malign the name of Dr. Deji Adeleke. It's just too minute to, cast aspersion on the image of Dr. Deji Adeleke.
So from that 1979 till Bola Ige died, yes, you were a Bola Ige boy.
Even my children today believe that Bola Ige was my father. Because the last person that Bola Ige gave money to before he was assassinated was my wife for Christmas and New Year for my children. $500. The second or third day he was assassinated.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Who is in charge of Osun State government? Is it Ademola Adeleke or Deji Adeleke?
You make me laugh. You see, if you have to censor opinion of credible people, not people who have been overwhelmed with hatred. I watched one of your guests here sometimes recently ago who was embarrassing himself, trying to attack the family of the governor. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell you that his first ever paid appointment in life was given by the same Adeleke family. He was referring to Dr. Deji Adeleke. Is Deji Adeleke in politics with him? Such a disdain.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Jelili Adesion, former Minister of Police Affairs, says Deji Adeleke, Davido's daddy, is the governor of Osun State, not Ademola Adeleke. Adeleke, pack your load and go.
He's going. He's going. Is it Adeleke? Is Deji Adeleke is going. It's not Adeleke. Who is Adeleke? Can that one become a governor? It's Deji now.
So it's Deji.
Yeah, Deji is going.
Davido's daddy.
He knows. He knows I'm saying this to you.
So
and when he hears
that
man again.
So he's the one that is in charge.
Yes, he's the one. He's the one.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Who is Ademola Adeleke? You know it yourself.
So it's Deji that is the governor
He's
in
the
true sense of the word.
He's the governor.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Even when his brother was in government, I served under his brother. I knew
Adeleke.
Yes, I knew the influence he wielded on his senior brother.
And he still wields that influence.
You know, there is a businessman and a capitalist to the core. Very precious in his approach to issues. He has to protect his interest. But today's interest versus the people of Osun State. We are going to the poll.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Who is in charge in Osun? How powerful is Dupe Adeleke, Davido's aunt? Who is, in the true sense of the word, the governor of Osun? Chief Akintude Bello Sharif, Senior Special Assistant to Governor Adeleke and head Bureau of Social Services boss, says Ademola Adeleke is the governor of Osun State, not Deji Adeleke. Who is in charge of Osun State government? Is it Ademola Adeleke or Deji Adeleke?
You make me laugh. You see, if you have to censor opinion of credible people, not people who have been overwhelmed with hatred. I watched one of your guests here sometime recently ago who was embarrassing himself, trying to attack the family of the governor. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell you that his first ever paid appointment in life was given by the same Adeleke family. He was referring to Dr. Deji Adeleke. Is Deji Adeleke in politics with him? Such a disdain, such a character, someone who was minister with no record of achievement cannot be the one that will come here to explain to you who is in charge.
Are you talking about Jelili Nail on the hair?
He was here and we listened to him. Unfortunately, he didn't have, with profound respect to his age, he didn't have that age. His first ever paid appointment in life, the Adeleke gave him. When last has Jelili Adesina contested any election between you and I? In football, there is something they call informed mood. When you compare a Jalo with an Ademola Adeleke, who is informed, who have been contesting since 2017 and winning, which election did Jalo ever competed in? He was minister, there was no record of achievement whatsoever. This was a man who, as a minister, assaulted a former governor of the state. That is late Senator Isiaka Adeleke, and went to grant national interview again after that assault and said that he will be happy to beat him up again. Only thugs can do that, with due respect. So if anybody will come to define governance, it cannot be Jelili Adesina. Here is a man who is not even a resident of Osun. He junkets between the UK and Ibadan. His people in Ayodade doesn't know him. He doesn't relate there. He's a politician who have been consistently losing touch by losing his political unit. he has no value in politics. Even nuisance value, Jalo lacks it. So he cannot be a credible option where he will define what governance means. Meanwhile, talking to your question again as to who holds the haze, I mean, who is in charge of governance, that is never in doubt, and it was never in doubt. People knew who they voted for and who took oath of office in 27th November 2022. I mean, how is that a controversy? Someone who is developing everywhere across Osun State. If you go to Ila today, you have a dualization going on in the name of Governor Ademola Adeleke, as one of the imparting projects is doing. If you go to, he completed Osogbo to Ikirun dualization within 100 days in office. And right now, as we speak, through the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, we are doing the dualization up to Ilaudo Kwara boundary. Come to Ilesha, the first ever dualization in history. Ademola Adeleke has done it. The people came for Iwude Ijesha recently. They are so happy. You must have been in Ife yourself. You will see the flyover at Ile-Ife. There was no flyover ever in Ile-Ife until Ademola Adeleke became governor. Under 3 years, that flyover is at 85-90% completion stage now.
Are you saying Deji Adeleke is in charge?
Ademola Adeleke is their governor. Is it a crime to have a supportive family, for God's sake? Which government event have we heard that you see Dr. Deji Adeleke there? This man is ever busy with his service to God and his business empire.
You remember it's a dynasty.
What is Osun State, with due respect, you know, for someone like Dr. Deji Adeleke, if you know him at all, this is a man who have been conducting his business well over 40 years successfully.
Who bankrolls the elections? Adeleke's who bankrolls it?
Bankroll which election?
Who bankrolls it? Who brings out the money? You remember he's the billionaire. Deji is the billionaire. Adeleke is not a billionaire, is he?
Hello?
Hello?
In the Adeleke family setup, you may not know, Governor Ademola Adeleke is the president of that dynasty.
Ademola Adeleke
is the president of that dynasty.
So he is the leader of Deji.
He was on the, I mean, is Dr. Deji competing with him? No. So how can you say he's the leader of Deji? No. Don't, you see, people who talk, I mean, people who try to link Dr. Deji Adeleke to this governance of a thing in our state are those who have no credible people in their family. They are product of hatred.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
In a dynasty, sometimes the most powerful, you don't see him. He pressed the button from behind.
With due respect, I am afraid to cite this instance.
Okay.
However, with profound respect, I want to say it.
Okay.
On my personal name.
Please go ahead.
Not in the name of government. Seyi Tinubu has been tremendously helpful to the administration of his father. Will you say because of that, Seyi Tinubu is in charge of the affairs of Nigeria?
No. You are giving. Let's go to Lagos. Before Tinubu became president, who picks the governors? Let's look at it from that angle, perhaps. Who has been in charge in Lagos? I know Chief Akintunde Bello is a grounded politician. Who owns Lagos?
Well,
who is the leader of Sanwo-Olu?
Sanwo-Olu, the governor
of Lagos.
In the APC constitution, like they make us to understand. In fact, it's a trending topic now over the Rivers saga between Wike and Fubara. They say the state governor is the leader of the state.
No.
And that was emphasized, that much was emphasized by the first president.
We follow politics. Who is Sanwo-Olu's leader in Lagos? Even before Tinubu became president.
They have the GAC. I don't know whether you know about the GAC.
I know about
Governor's
the GAC.
Advisory Council.
Yeah.
They say the GAC is in charge of the affairs of Lagos.
Not Tinubu.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a resident.
Why was Aregbesola angry in Osun? Who picked Oyetola?
I don't work for Aregbesola.
Why? I know you know. Who picked Oyetola?
What we are saying is that it is not a crime that Ademola Adeleke has a blessed family who show him love. If you know how they have been running in their family, it's a family that you and I must pray.
From my research, that family plays this game keenly.
Listen,
There's one Dupe, right?
Let me tell you.
There's one Dupe, right?
Don't talk down on people.
No, we are talking politics.
Listen.
There's one Dupe, right?
No, not one Dupe. That
okay. There's a Dupe. One of the daughters of the Adeleke.
The person you call one Dupe is almost 70 years.
Okay, is that the point you are making?
We have to call out with respect.
Okay,
with due respect to you, because I have profound respect for you.
All right, I get the point you make.
Now, the point I am trying to make is that have you ever taken your time to understudy the Adelekes? This is a family who built. I mean, they have the Adeleke University being run. 70% of the students in that university are indigent who are on scholarship. Do they need anything in government?
What is the role of Ms. Dupe in the government?
Absolutely no role other than being, a member of our family who shows love to our younger brother.
Chief Akitunde.
Let me tell you, Yeye Dupe Adeleke is so busy that you cannot even link him to anything. And we challenge anyone who have counterfeit to come up and show forth the counterfeit that Yeye Dupe Adeleke or any member of the Adeleke family is linked to government. They are not getting contract. They are not getting appointment. They are not getting anything. You see, the Adeleke family is a blessing who God is using to, enliven the state. And the people love them for who they are. Ademola Adeleke is in charge. 2017, let me tell you. 2017, when Ademola Adeleke first became senator, of the period he spent in the Senate, he spent, I think about 1 year or so before he traveled abroad again, before coming back to contest gubernatorial. I mean, what benefit could Idaji Adeleke get from being a senator other than to help people? Dr. Idaji Adeleke is busy with his business empire and is conducting his service to God. Let us leave him out of governance and politics.
He's part of the politics. No. He's part of the politics. You can't leave him out. Even during the last election, you could see he was also monitoring.
Monitoring from where?
Yes, you could see the pictures
from the State Affairs studio, right?
He was monitoring.
Monitoring from where?
You could see the joy when Adeleke won. They shot the video.
If your own son becomes something, will you not be happy?
But is there anything wrong if Deji is part of government?
He's not. He's not.
Is there anything wrong with that? With his expertise and knowledge?
Let me tell you.
So he's not concerned?
Let me tell you at some point in time, Davido, the son, even gave $1 billion worth welfare package to the people of Osun State. He distributed food items in his own name with his own money. That is the son now, with his own money across all the world.
I will be sad if Deji is not interested in what is going on in Osun State.
Dr. Deji is too busy. Don't be sad. I want to see you happy.
I'll be sad.
I want to see you happy.
With his expertise,
people like Jallo is not credible to malign the name of Dr. Deji Adeleke. It's just too minute to, cast aspersion on the image of Dr. Deji Adeleke. Let's leave the man. The man has done so well for humanity. You understand? You know how many people are on their health support? That they ferry abroad to go and get treated free of charge. People they don't know at all. Likewise, the school they built. Look at the power station he has. You know how many people are working there? That power station, for how many years will you lump up the allocation of Osun to match up? So the Dr. Deji does not need Osun State 1 kobo.
I'm not talking about 1 kobo. That Osun State needs his expertise.
He's praying for his brother, the governor.
He's now a prayer warrior, right?
Of course, he's a Christian.
Yes, he likes praying.
He's a 7-day person who is consistently loyal to his God.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
That is Chief Akintunde Bello Sharif, Senior Special Assistant to Governor Adeleke. He is also the head Bureau of Social Services, BOSS. Yeah, are you there? You know, last week I started the story of Jelili Adeleke and Bola Ige. Jelili Adeleke is a former Jelili Adesina. I've added Adeleke to the name because we have been doing Adeleke, Deji, Adeleke, Ademola, Adeleke. Now I've gone to give Jelili Adeleke. I didn't mean to do that. It's Jelili Adesina, former Minister of Police Affairs. You know, last week we reopened that file. I remember the event is Nigeria's most consequential political assassination. The murder of Bola Ige, a serving Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. More than 2 decades after the fatal gunshots in Ibadan, Adesina walks through the trail that led investigators to his door. The political atmosphere of the time and the fragile line between suspicion and proof in a highly charged case. Now, let's listen to a continuation of that story.
Let's go to the Oni's palace. I think that was on the 15th of December.
I can't remember the date.
That was December 15th.
I can't remember the date.
Bola Ige was at the Oni's palace.
Yes.
You remember that day?
I remember vividly.
Can you tell us what happened that day?
Well, incidentally, I wasn't at that event, but my wife was. It was the day Oni was installing Stella Obasanjo with a title within the palace. I cannot remember the title now. So I think it was a PDP event because Chief SM Afolabi, Fashawe, and all the PDP bigwig were at the palace to receive Stella Obasanjo. Chief Mrs. Awolowo Mama was there too. You know, he was the Yeye Odu or something like that of Ife. So any activities that have been, run by the then owner of Ife, Mama has to be present. I do not think they were expecting Chief Bola Ige at that event because it was a PDP event. And Okubola was the serving minister of, was it Power then or Attorney General of the Federation 1? He was formerly in power sector before.
He was Attorney General because it was December 15.
Yes.
Because a few days later he was assassinated.
Yes. So, Uncle Bola went to that event uninvited.
Did you say uninvited?
Oh, invited. I'm so sure he wasn't invited.
But remember,
because if he was invited, Chief Bisi Akande would have gone as a governor, as a sitting governor in Osun State. That is his leader. I'm so sure he wasn't invited because there was no even seat for him.
By the time he got there.
Mrs. Ete, who was a member of the House of Representatives, who was very close to my wife, they always go, she was the one that invited my wife to the occasion, was given a seat in front. My wife sat behind her. When Uncle Bola came, there was no seat for him. So Mrs. Ete has to stand up from his seat to give room for Uncle Bola to sit.
Ete that later became Speaker of the House of Reps.
Yeah, then my wife stood up again for Mrs. Ete to sit. Then they looked for another chair for my wife. But when everybody were proceeding to the inner palace, might be for reception or something like that, it was at that time that I was told that Uncle Bola was embarrassed or molested, and his cap was removed.
His cap was removed.
And my wife now called me because it was at that place when this thing was happening. And he said, thank God that I didn't come to Ife that day, that they would have lynched me because he know I want to protect Uncle Bola like I used to do in Ijebubo those days. And those boys would have lynched me. And
who were those boys?
They are just, hang on, ruffians, political,
and they
rascals.
And they had the guts to remove Uncle Bola's cap.
Yes.
From his head.
Yes.
Who sent them?
I don't know.
Have you asked who sent them to today?
I did not.
Did Omisore send them?
I don't believe he did.
Remember, at that point, there was already crisis.
Yes, I don't. That's why people can attribute that might be sent them. And the fact that how do I put it? The fact that he came from the molestation of Uncle Bola, who had earlier 2 weeks back molested him in Osogbo.
Wait, Uncle Bola had molested Omisore?
Yes.
In Osogbo?
Yes.
How?
At the time he went for that rally to saw up the image of the governor, because the image of the governors at that time was in the lower head. He called Omisore a lot of unprintable name, which was recorded. Everybody, all the speaker attack Omisore. Omisore wasn't there. He was not invited to that thing. But at that time, that was the apogee of his popularity in Osun State. You understand what I mean? So I think it was the fallout that made those rascals, the political rascal in Ife, to embarrass him.
You were not there.
I wasn't there.
You didn't know anything about it?
At all. According to Omisore, because I later asked him, he said he was the one who even escorted Uncle out of that place. When he was told, he was inside the palace with the Oni and the other dignitaries when they were told what was happening outside. You understand? He said he has to rush out to escort Uncle Bola from further molestation outside the palace.
Where was the Attorney General's security details when all this was happening?
Well, they are with him. There are not many there with him. People will say, how many? Uncle Bola doesn't like all this security, because Uncle Bola is personally secure because of his love for people and love for, those who surround him.
What does it mean to remove the filler of a renowned elder in Yoruba land?
In politics, anything can happen. I've been beaten more than 2-3 times. Rascals, people thought I am. Strong as people thought I am. I've been molested several times. On most of these occasions, I was molested because of Uncle Bola.
But what did that mean to you when you heard it? That Bola Ige's filler was removed from his hair.
It means nothing. That's why people like me, and even Uncle Bola too, because this trait, you don't. That is what they call it. It means nothing. Whoever thought removing the filler, because the theory was that when they remove his cap, he has been molested and killed spiritually. So they went and completed the thing physically in Ibadan. They are stupid, and they will all suffer before we leave this earth. Anybody who has hand in the death of Uncle Bola that made people like me and others suffer, we suffer. Those who still believe in that theory will suffer too. I'm telling you. It's not, politician, how many times have they taken pure water and threw it to SM Afolabi? Several times in Osun. It happens. To political leaders, it happens. It means nothing.
Did you discuss it with Bola Ige?
Unfortunately, I had no time to discuss it with him. Even Uncle Bola doesn't want us to know. I'm telling you. That was why it was not carried in the paper at all. You know, it would have been a big sensational story on the pages of newspaper, front page.
But we knew.
The only paper that said something about it was this. This? What's the name of this paper being published by the news? This weekly small soft paper.
PM News.
It's not PM News. PM News have not been. Well, it was that paper that brought out, after the death of Uncle Bola, that brought out the interview given by Omishore after that incident. And it was brought to court as an evidence.
Did you discuss that incident with Omishore when it happened?
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
He said he didn't know anything about it. That Uncle Bola was embarrassed. You can see those stupid boy, and unfortunately it happened in Ife. People will think he's behind it.
And Omishore is from Ife?
Yes, from Ife.
That was his home?
Yes.
So after that, the center could no longer hold?
It held until the death of Adnuayo Olagbaju.
Who killed Olagbaju?
Well, it was a mob led by one, I've forgotten the name of that boy, because that boy was convicted and sentenced to death. It was a mob who was sympathetic to Chibisi Akande group. You know, the party in Ife itself has been sharply divided into two. One with Omishore, the second with Chibisi Akande. We were told that he was the one who sledge-hammered that boy when he was being beaten.
Olagbaju was a member of the House of Assembly.
Yes, he was even the deputy. He was the leader of the house.
And he was an Omishore man.
He was to the core.
To the core.
Yes. So he was. They went after him. You know, it's within the Ife people too. Those who are sympathetic with Chibisi Akande. They might not know anything about it. You know, sometimes these exuberances, they want to please the leadership. Because I know Chibisi Akande will never tell anybody to attack anybody because of what. As at the time Chibisi Akande was the governor, he was so matured, much more to think of such things.
So the killing of Olagbaju must have infuriated members of the Omishore camp.
Yes. That not to the extent of wanting to take laws into their hand.
But they did. By removing Bola Ige's filler.
No. That has been done before the death of Olagbaju. The removal of the cap of Uncle Bola Ige was the one that infuriated them to kill Olagbaju. Because Olagbaju did not in any way hide his support for Omishore. And the boy was very gifted, a philosopher. He can speak fluently English and Yoruba.
Okay, let's put it together. You are thinking that maybe
hypothesis.
Yes, hypothesis. Well, that's why we are trying to, because your name is just there when it comes to Bola Ige's murder.
Because like I said, Muwa came here to say I was in Ife. I wasn't in Ife at all. I was in my comfort home in Ibadan.
And you were living very close to Bola Ige?
Of course, about 2 houses.
2 houses after Bola Ige?
Yeah, to Bola Ige, yes.
Perhaps what happened at Ife caused the reaction against Olagbaju?
Yes, definitely.
So perhaps what happened to Olagbaju caused the reaction against Bola Ige? I don't
subscribe to that.
Okay.
Why? What happened in Ife. The real opponent at that time, at that period, was Chibisi Akande.
Not Bola Ige.
Not Bola Ige.
But Bola Ige was like the godfather of Bisi Akande.
The two of them. Yes.
But he had tongue-lashed Omishore.
Yes, of course.
So Omishore was no longer in his good book.
Yes, of course. But he still want to manage the situation. Like I said, he sent Kunle Ige to me and said, Uncle wanted to see me. Why did he want to see me? I went to him and he told me he wanted to settle the rift between Uncle Bola and Chibisi Akande and Omishore. And we agree on a date.
26th of December,
which never came.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
There is waning French influence in West Africa, but there is improved Nigerian-French relations. What about the Lukarawa terrorist group in Nigeria? Military coups in West Africa. What does all this portend for peace and security in the West African sub-region? These are the issues we'll be looking at on this edition of State Affairs. My guest is Colonel Adeniyi Ushakwade, retired. Colonel, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you for having me.
The West African region is embroiled in different crises.
Okay.
At the moment, it is about the waning influence of France in the sub-region. What is connected to this?
Yes, thank you. You know, the French colonized these countries. And when they were leaving, the agreement they reached with the leaders they handed over to were not of interest to the countries per se. The agreement was in favor of the French government and to the individuals, the leaders that made the agreement with them. So the country they are leaving behind didn't get much from the agreement. So this is what is causing some of the young, guys in the military today carrying out coup to overthrow the leaders who made those agreements that were not favorable to their countries. They believe that those agreements were like individual, took care of individual interests. And they were after the interests of their countries. So they challenged their leadership, they were able to overthrow the leadership. And the next thing, the French too did not want to talk about this agreement, and they have to ask the French government to leave. That's just the basic reason why the French influence in the West African regions were waning, because the young ones that are growing now are not seeing much benefit of French influence in their country.
As we speak, we have different French military bases.
Good.
In West Africa.
Good.
Chad has recently told France to leave.
Good.
And France is already leaving Chad.
Good.
Senegal has indicated interest.
Good.
That they won't allow French military bases in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Why should France have a military base? Is it in their own interest or in the interest of West Africa?
Just like I said, insurgency and military banditry, coming up here and there from the Tuareg and the rest, fighting the government of these Sahel countries. And the French believe they could help the government to push out these militants. But along the way, the result is not yet there. And the military are now saying that if the French are here to help them push out these terrorists, these militants, and they are not achieving a result, why are they here? So the French troops that were on ground did not really do what the government wanted them to do. And that is the reason why the new government are asking them to leave.
You know, some would say that you have French mining companies in these francophone countries.
Yeah.
And if these companies must have security, they needed French troops to protect their interest.
Good.
Is that not one of the reasons?
That's one of the reasons. The young military officers that pushed them out believed that the duties of those French soldiers on ground should not be just to protect their companies in their land. It should also be to help in providing security from these militants. But what you are now saying is that the French company on ground, just like I said, the arrangements they made with their government, with the government of the colony, were not of benefit, were not of interest to the country itself. The company are making their own profit. The individuals, the leaders who made this arrangement with the French companies are making their own from the agreement, but the country as a whole is making less from this French company mining these resources in their country. So the French soldiers on ground are just there to protect the companies, not even assisting the country to provide security.
But we have seen French troops in combat against terrorist groups in the West African region.
If it has to do with these terrorists attacking the company, they will be out there to protect the company.
But there was this alliance of West African states, a military alliance to tackle Islamic insurgency.
About we just being big brothers. We don't seem to know. We are not properly coordinated about what exactly we stand to gain from every steps that we take. And that's why small African country will stand up to Nigeria. Niger, in those days, when Niger had problems, Obasanjo would simply ask them to cross the border to Sokoto. He will not even invite them to Lagos. He will go to Sokoto and resolve the problem for them. Nigeria was very deliberate in the way it handled issues. Nigeria was also comparatively better governed. Nigeria was better resourced than now. So all of that counts to how Trump perceives us and how he relates with us.
You know, one would think that Tinubu will write a forceful letter, the way Obasanjo did to Jimmy Carter.
That's impossible, really. You know, every country in the world is trying to be very cautious with how it relates with Trump.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Adeleke, pack your load and go.
He's going. Is it Adeleke? Is Deji Adeleke is going. It's not Adeleke. Who is Adeleke? Can that one become a governor? It's Deji now.
So it's Deji.
Yeah, Deji is going.
Davido's daddy.
He knows I'm saying this to you.
So
and when he hears that man again.
So he's the one that is in charge.
Yes, he's the one.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Who is Ademola Adeleke? You know it yourself.
So it's Deji that is the governor
in
the true sense of the word.
He's the governor.
Not Ademola Adeleke.
Even when his brother was in government, I served under his brother. I knew
Adeleke.
Yes, I knew the influence he wielded on his senior brother.
And he still wields that influence.
You know, there is a businessman and a capitalist to the core. Very vicious in his approach to issues. He has to protect his interest. But today's interest versus the people of Osun State. We are going to the poll.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
I'll be sad if Deji is not interested in what is going on in Osun State.
Dr. Deji is too busy. Don't be sad. I want to see you happy.
I'll be sad.
I want to see you happy.
With his expertise.
People like Jallo is not credible to malign the name of Dr. Deji Adeleke. It's just too minute to, cast aspersion on the image of Dr. Deji Adeleke.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Omishore wanted to be governor?
Yes, he wanted to be governor after Bisi Akande.
After 4 years of Bisi Akande or after 8 years of Bisi Akande?
I wasn't at home like I told you.
No, you were now the assistant secretary.
Yes, by the time, the story I had was that Chief Bisi Akande, the story I had.
But you were the assistant secretary?
Before I came home at all, when the party was formed, when Omishore was asked to step down for Chief Bisi Akande, this senator from Ilesha, Akinfenwa, himself asked to step down for Chief Bisi Akande. Chief Bisi Akande has no mind of even running as a governor. He was the chairman of the party.
Who was dictating who stepped down? Was it Bola Ige?
It was Uncle Bola.
So it was Bola Ige that handpicked Bisi Akande?
Of course, there's no doubt about that.
Okay. It
was him. And there are so many stories that are attached to it, but it's not for the consumption of the public.
Why?
Because there are some things that remain with you till you pass on.
You still have that philosophy?
Yes, I have it.
You don't reveal everything?
No.
You keep some?
Yes, you keep some to your chest and die with you.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Nigeria frontally looked into the eyes of the United States in the 1970s. But today we have a Donald Trump who bullies us. How do we reconcile those letters with what is going on now?
Well, you know that things have changed. The 70s is quite different from today. The context is different. I think everybody is dealing with Donald Trump with a lot of caution. What Donald Trump does is not essentially diplomatic. A lot of time is in clear departure from what diplomatic relationship should be with other countries. So people are just dealing with him. He's like a bomb waiting to explode. So people are just being patient. They want to see through his tenure and live. But also remember that Nigeria is not as influential as it used to be.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
That last voice is the voice of Musikilu Mujid, Editor-in-Chief, Premium Times. Mujid is the author of the book The Letter Man, Inside the Secret Letters of former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. Chapter 25 of his book comes with the title Camaraderie and Clashes with President Jimmy Carter. In this chapter, Mujid takes us down history lane, reminding us of Nigeria's stance in the international system in the 1970s. That was when Murtala Muhammad said that Africa has come of age, meaning that Nigeria has come of age. In this book, Musikilu Mujid takes us into Obasanjo's letters. But the part I want to bring to you at this time is the discussion on chapter 25. Musikilu Mujid, Editor-in-Chief, Premium Times, is on State Affairs. He has written almost everyone in the political system. He has written to Awu.
Of course.
He wrote to Babangida. He wrote to Abacha.
He wrote to Shagari.
And you captured those letters in this book.
Yes, he wrote to Abacha. He wrote to who else did he write? He wrote to Jonathan. He wrote to Buhari.
He hasn't written to Tinubu.
Well, I'm not sure he has written to Tinubu. I'm not sure.
Except they are private letters.
Maybe they are private letters that we haven't seen.
So the letters you saw were most of them private letters.
A lot were private letters that are not, until when was that? Was it 2013 when he wrote to, I think it was 2013. Can you remind me when he wrote to Jonathan?
The one he said Jonathan was putting together snipers to take
Yes. I think it was 2013, isn't it?
I can't remember the year now, 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, well, let me check.
Okay.
I think it's that if you check chapter 1, that was 2013.
Okay.
2013, December 2013. Until then, we didn't know that Obasanjo had a history of letter writing. We didn't know. Most of these letters were private letters. A few, like the one he wrote to Awolowo in 1979, shortly after he left office as head of state, of course, were captured by the media, because of course Awolowo will want people to know that he had written to him. But all other letters, like the ones to Babangida, like the one to Shagari, the one to even Abacha, were never public. And most of the letters he wrote to world leader, including the head of state of Ghana at the time, who he accused of basically, dealing with opposition and killing people. And then he wrote to Idi Amin. He wrote to almost everybody who mattered. He wrote to Peter Botta. He wrote to Margaret Thatcher. He wrote to Jimmy Carter. He wrote to everybody who matters about whether local issues or global issues.
Let's look at Obasanjo's letters on page. Yes, camaraderie and clashes with President Jimmy Carter.
With Jimmy Carter.
That is page 419.
Yeah, that's chapter 25.
Now, the background to that story, that at some point, the Murtala Obasanjo government were bent on stamping their foot on the ground, insisting that Nigeria has come of age.
That Africa has come of age.
And in that case, Nigeria was the giant of Africa.
Oh, definitely.
Nigeria confronted the United States frontally.
Frontally.
And we've not seen that happen again.
And forcefully.
I'm wondering, what gave them the guts?
Well, at the time, Nigeria was really influential in global affairs. And, if you read that chapter, I thought I provided some historical analysis about how even the US tried to call Gowon to visit, a state visit, and Gowon would write back to say that he was busy fixing problems in his own country and in Africa. Gowon didn't visit, he didn't do a state visit to the US. There are speculations about why Gowon was reluctant.
What are the speculations?
Well, people believe that the US did not sufficiently support Nigeria during the Biafra War, and that Gowon was not happy with the United States. And in any case, at the time, we had quite a manageable population, and we had a lot of resources. You recall the famous claim by Gowon that Nigeria had money, that the problem was how to spend it. And we had quite a lot of brilliant foreign service officials. In fact, there was one correspondence that I saw, one memo that I saw, when one US official came to Nigeria and wanted to see the head of state. And the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was telling them that you came without appointment, you want to say our head of state, please know it now that Nigeria is not one of your banana republics. That's how influential Nigeria was. And Nigeria was at the forefront of the liberation struggle in Southern Africa. And Nigeria was at the forefront of fighting apartheid in South Africa. And in doing this, Nigeria confronted not just the US, but even the United Kingdom. Because we had resources. Our country was better governed. You could say this military rule. And so we had a lot of mileage. In fact, Nigeria was funding a lot of these. Tanzania, Julius Nyerere will come. All these other head of state, the Mozambican leader at the time will come. And Nigeria will give them money, give them troops, write checks for them.
Naira rain diplomacy.
Of course.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Yes, I just had to end that interview to bring you this story. I'm reading a story now on the BBC. Trump says the United States has captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro amid large-scale strikes. Donald Trump keeps his words. He has captured Maduro, the president of Venezuela. U.S. President Trump says the U.S. has carried out large-scale strike against Venezuela and captured its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. Here's the statement. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. So this guy has done what he wants to do. Donald Trump is a live wire. I think he's moving into Iran again. Perhaps they want to take out the Ayatollah. What would Trump do with Nigeria? They've taken out Maduro. The statement says this operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today. America. The United States. Okay. I'll bring you an interview with Musikilu Mujid, Editor-in-Chief, Premium Times. This time, the interview is focused on Donald Trump. Stay tuned.
Good. Is that not one of the reasons?
That's one of the reasons. The young military officers that pushed them out believed that the duties of those French soldiers on ground should not be just to protect their companies in their land. It should also be to help in providing security from these militants. But what you are now saying is that the French company on ground, just like I said, the arrangements they made with their government, with the government of the colony, were not of benefit, were not of interest to the country itself. The company are making their own profit. The leaders who made this arrangement with the French companies are making their own from the agreement, but the country as a whole is making less from this French company mining these resources in their country. So the soldiers, the French soldiers on ground are just there to protect the companies, not even assisting the country to provide security.
But we have seen French troops in combat against terrorist groups in the West African region.
If it has to do with these terrorists attacking the company, they will be out there to protect the company.
But there was this alliance of West African states,
Yeah.
a military alliance to tackle Islamic insurgency in the Sahel.
It is not working.
It is not working.
It's not working.
But why wouldn't it work, considering that France is a superpower,
Good.
if we want to describe it in that way?
Good.
They have the weaponry, the skills to tackle some of these militants. Why didn't it work?
You see, the military operation is not just having the necessary equipment and whatnot to fight the enemy or the insurgency. It goes beyond that. The French have not really deployed the complete technology that they have to defeat this, what do you call it, this insurgency and this terrorists that are just all over the Sahel region. Now, when you are talking of military operations, there are 4 main functions that you need to carry out in order for you to win your enemy. It's not just when you have the strength and everything. Before you go into any military operation, like I said, military operation is a joint operation. It's not just one single service. It's not just deploying troops on the ground or just having only the Air Force. It's a joint between the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy. That's what we call operation. Anything other than that is not an operation. It must be at least 2 services. Now, to defeat an enemy on ground, you first of all have to deploy technology to know the exact location where this enemy are. We call it finding the enemy. So finding the enemy is very intrinsic in any operation. Because these 4 major functions that I will talk about, you have to finish one before you go to the next one. You have to finish the other one before you go to the next one. So it is a sequence that must be followed, which the French have not helped these countries to carry out.
But they found the enemies. They know the location of the enemies.
I don't think so. If they really know the locations based on technology with their satellites and everything, then they should have moved successfully to the next stage. The next stage is fixing the enemy. Fixing the enemy involves the use of Air Force, attacking them from the air. Because from finding the enemy location, you get the exact coordinates of where this enemy are. You put those coordinates in the firing system of the aircraft, so that when your aircraft is going there to fix this enemy, they are not wasting logistics, wasting fuel, looking for enemy here and there. They already know the exact location where they are, and they go there, bomb these guys, and then you dislodge them. You are able to, reduce their capacity to fight. We call it destroying their freedom of action. So if the French have not done that successfully, there is no how they can win the insurgents or the terrorists.
So the point you are making is that France has not fully deployed its military powers to check the insurgencies in the Sahel.
In the Sahel, they have not done that.
Why didn't they do that? What do you think?
Because they are after the companies that they have come to protect. It's the company that is making money for their government back at home. Going to look for the exact location where the enemy are will cost them some logistics too, which the home country have not provided.
Some would say that perhaps big powers would prefer instability. So
that are just all over the Sahel region. Now, when you are talking of military operations, there are 4 main functions that you need to carry out in order for you to win your enemy.
Chapter 23 is entitled Appetite Crossfires. And Chapter 24, Altercations with Margaret Thatcher, Camaraderie, and Clashes with President Jimmy Carter. That is Chapter 25. You know, going through that chapter, something came to mind. Nigeria frontally looked into the eyes of the United States in the 1970s. But today we have a Donald Trump who bullies us. You know, how do we reconcile those letters with what is going on now?
Well, you know that things have changed. The 70s is quite different from today. The context is different. I think everybody is dealing with Donald Trump with a lot of caution. What Donald Trump does is not essentially diplomatic. A lot of time is in departure, clear departure from what diplomatic relationship should be with other countries. So people are just dealing with him. It's like a bomb waiting to explode. So people are just being patient. They want to see through his tenure and live. But also remember that Nigeria is not as influential as it used to be in the 70s. I don't think that now any American president bothers about what Nigerian thinks when taking any decision about Africa. That was not the case in the 70s. Whatever decision, whether it is a crisis in Niger or the war between Tanzania and which other country? There was a war between Tanzania and Uganda. America will ask Nigeria's position and how it can be resolved, or whether there is anything the OAU wanted to do. OAU wants to first of all know about Nigeria's position. That's not the case anymore. Nigeria has really dropped in terms of its global ranking.
What happened?
I don't know. Maybe poor governance. We haven't gotten our foreign relations right over time. And that is also the point that you mentioned about we just being big brothers. We don't seem to know. We are not properly coordinated about what exactly we stand to gain from every steps that we take. And that's why small African country will stand up to Nigeria. Niger, in those days, when Niger had problems, Obasanjo would simply ask them to cross the border to Sokoto. He will not even invite them to Lagos. He will go to Sokoto and resolve the problem for them. Nigeria was very deliberate in the way it handled issues. Nigeria was also comparatively better governed. Nigeria was better resourced than now. So all of that counts to how Trump perceives us and how he relates with us.
You know, one would think that Tinubu will write a forceful letter, the way Obasanjo did to Jimmy Carter.
That's impossible, really. You know, every country in the world is trying to be very cautious with how it relates with Trump.
Is it that U.S. is that powerful that nobody dares?
Yeah, the U.S. is powerful, and you could see that even Europe is being careful about how. Look at what Trump is trying to do between Russia and Ukraine, trying to get Ukraine to concede some territory to Russia. That's not war. That's not Euro's preference, but they are being careful. America is indeed, like one head of state told me, America is powerful in a way, and it can really make life difficult.
In what ways?
In several ways. In several ways. They can, American can somehow get you isolated, because a lot of small countries rely on handouts from America. You know, they may make it impossible for you, even at the United Nations, to achieve anything, you may not achieve anything. So you want to get grant from somewhere, you want to get loan from the World Bank. Some of these things America can pull the lever on you.
They can strangulate you.
They can strangulate you. You may be unable to buy arms to protect yourself as a country.
So when they cough, you catch cold.
Look at what is happening to Venezuela. You may not even be able to sell your oil.
He has declared that area no-fly zone.
Of course. So everybody just want to see through the Trump era. Because people believe that America is a far better country than Trump is portraying it. People simply, leaders simply want to be patient and want the era. I think what they are telling themselves is that even that era will pass away.
I wonder if Obasanjo will write Trump a letter.
No, I don't think so, because he seems to understand diplomacy better. He knows that, I'm sure that he understands that the context in 1979 is different from the current context. He would have written. Remember, even when, if he was going to write, he would have written, especially when Trump said he was going to declare Nigeria a country of particular concern and use some very derogatory words on Nigeria. Obasanjo is really patriotic, as I indicated in the book. So I'm sure he must have been irritated by Trump's posturing about Nigeria. But also, Obasanjo is not a fan of Tinubu at this point. So maybe he thought writing a letter supporting Nigeria and critical of Trump could help the administration. Is possible. Or he believed that Trump should be handled differently. I'm sure he knows better.
He's a live wire.
Yes. He's a live wire. And you could be electrocuted if you don't handle him carefully.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
I had that interview with Musikilu Mojid, the editor-in-chief of Premium Times, on the 1st of January this year. And we're talking about Venezuela. Now, Venezuela's president, Trump has captured Venezuela's president. It's been long anybody captured any country's president. They've been having this argument. During Trump's first term, Nicolas Maduro was talking back. This problem started with Hugo Chavez. And now Trump has gone into Venezuela and captured the president. The BBC has an update. The US has long accused Nicolas Maduro of leading an international drug trafficking organization, something that Maduro denies. Trump did not give more detail about how Maduro was captured or where he has been taken. The Venezuelan government have not yet confirmed this. The United States had offered a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Maduro. That, along with the huge military build-up in the region over the last few months, were interpreted in the region as encouragement for someone inside the country to turn against Nicolas Maduro. Trump says he has captured Nicolas Maduro. Trump? Who's this guy? What is Trump up to? I'm thinking. You need to read the diplomatic letters in the book The Letterman. Look at the book. By the editor-in-chief of Premium Times, Musikilu Mojid. If you read the diplomatic letters here, you'll see that Nigeria has fallen. But somehow, Nigeria will rise. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. You want to read or order the books mentioned on the show this morning? Visit udarabooks.com. udarabooks.com. Yes. And then you can order the books that have been mentioned. I've talked about the CIA and imperial history. I've talked about white malice, Susan Williams. Another book you should read is Africa's Security Challenges in the 21st Century, Power, Principles and Praxis in Global Politics by Tunde Adeniro. Next week is another time on State Affairs. The next program is Ijoba Tiwa with Sheun Special. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Thank you for being there. I am Edmund